Welcome to This Time Out with Marcus Ekure. I want to just quickly say a few things about the trending video of the young lady, Miss Comfort Imasen, that has been thrown behind bars because she was acclaimed to have or alleged to have assaulted the cabin crew members. This video has been trending, how she was, evicted from the aircraft forcefully and disgracefully, even stripping her naked in the process and all that. You see, I've watched a lot of perspective. I've listened to a lot of people talk about this situation and all that. No matter how we try to look at it, I'm not trying to make a case for this young lady, but the manner in which this girl was evacuated from that aircraft is very, 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 very uncivilized. And, it's an issue for human rights activists, especially female human rights activists, to look into, to be very honest. Now, I'm not trying to condone the kind of unruly behavior of this girl. Quite frankly, she was really very rude, and, it's even more surprising that she's not yet married. She's still a single girl. So, and it brings to mind, what kind of man is going to marry this kind of character? It's really potentially damaging. But, it appears, like the part of the story that is being peddled everywhere on the internet, seem to be the part that is somewhat suiting to Ibom Airline. Because I've seen some other parts of these videos, and from what I could deduce, it's clear that the girl, because there was an eyewitness who was in the aircraft, who issued a comment in one of the videos I was watching. He said he was there and that it was something that had to do with put off your phone, or put off your phone and don't put off your phone. And the lady kept saying that her phone was already on flight mode, because more obviously she was making videos, or maybe, making videos and all that. The act of making videos during flying is an African virus that is in every African. That's just the truth. Even including politicians, those who make the laws. So across board, internationally, people make videos when they are flying. That's just the truth. You can't take that away. And in some aircraft, once they've taken maybe their altitude in the space, they will even announce that, okay, you can connect to their Wi-Fi, and with little amount of money you can pay and get internet. Severally, I've traveled internationally, and, you see me making calls, or even, using my internet. Why, as up in the sky, 40,000 feet above sea level, So severally I've made calls like that and all that kind of stuff. Now, what am I talking about? There are a whole lot of questions surrounding these scenarios that Nigerians are not asking. It will be suicidal. It won't be fair, on the part of justice, because there's a saying that an injustice to one is an injustice to all. I'm not trying to speak or make a case for this young lady. She was very wrong by her attitude and character, the way, she was attacking these people and all that kind of stuff. But these were the videos they presented to us. There are other parts of these videos that, I've seen that depict that something triggered this whole thing. But that's part that triggered this whole reaction of this young girl. Nobody seemed to be talking about all that. It seemed to be silenced. It's obviously, from one of the videos I saw, she was caged. She was curtailed by that lady. She was hitting her face, the air hostess. She was curtailed and restricted from leaving the aircraft. That she was pushed to her, confined to her seat, that she cannot come down, because they wanted security operatives to come after her, to come and, get her arrested and all that. So she was like, in one of the videos, you could literally see that the air hostess was blocking her from coming down. And someone who is an eyewitness in the aircraft said that this whole thing was as a result of her phone, the lady using her phone in the course of the flight and all that kind of stuff. And the lady kept saying that her phone was on flight mode. Yes, some air hostess have flown some Nigeria aircraft, as in local aircraft airlines, that air hostess will tell you to even put off your phone completely. They will even say put on flight mode. They'll say put it off completely. And if you don't put it off, perhaps this lady didn't put her phone off, but her phone was on flight mode. And an air hostess saw it, that the phone, she was using the phone and flared up. Maybe something happened that triggered these reactions we are seeing. So I think no matter how we try to paint this whole stuff, a few things, it's very important for us to look at a few factors in this whole thing. That's talking about situation analysis now. Now, something triggered this whole reaction. Yeah, nobody is entirely perfect. This girl we are talking about, she may be good in some areas, in some ways, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, something would have triggered her, but no matter what would have triggered her, I'm not trying to support her character. Yeah, she went too far by going to the extent of slapping people and being very rude to everybody from the videos we could see and all that kind of stuff. But on the part of the airline, there's also indications that the air hostess, the cabin crew people, perhaps are also found wanting, or would have been found wanting in terms of, human relations. How do you handle? I mean, there was a case the other day that also involves Ibom Air, where a woman held a whole aircraft to ransom, refusing to alight, all because of her luggage. Should this always be a case resonating with Ibom Airline? Why is it always Ibom Airline? It shows something is not right somewhere. That's just the truth about the cabin crew, the attitude, the character of the cabin crew people. If you go international, you fly international aircraft, airlines and all that, you see the manner, the civilized manner in which cabin crew members respond to you. And I tell you, the manner with which this girl was thrown out of the aircraft is very shameful and so uncivilized. Is a reaction, an action that, we will not portray Nigeria as a country, portray any good image for Nigeria as a country. That's just the truth. To the extent of stripping her naked, and her nude picture is now what is trending on social media. I also want to say that Nigerians were always quick at looking at one side of issues. That's just the truth. Now you see somebody who is a good man, a famous man today, if something just comes up and be a news flash that the person is a kidnapper, is this and that, a lot of Nigerians will just start flying that news everywhere without even going deep into it. What if this guy is framed up and all that? So it's always good we do situation analysis before, escalating issues and all that kind of stuff. What the girl did was wrong. Nobody's supporting that. I'm not supporting that. It's also a very big shame, honestly, that a single girl could be that very rude and mannerless. But something would have triggered her reaction. And the extent, the airline went, and even to the extent of saying she has been placed behind bars in Kirikiri prison. That is shameful. For me, it is just too hasty. They didn't look into the nitty-gritty of the whole issue. That's it. And there's also a case of, someone, an individual, a mighty individual who stood in front of an aircraft that was about to take off, disrupting the flight operation and everything, that the pilot was suspended and punished. But the man who did that, because he's a powerful man, he knows the who is who's and all that kind of stuff. Nothing happened to him till date. Just, a few days ago. So that reminds us, about the two-tribe theories. The two-tribe theory, which I spoke about recently, that there are only two tribes as far as Nigeria is concerned. The upper tribe and the lower tribe. Now, this girl has been placed behind bar now because she has no voice to speak for her. Nobody even gave her fair hearing. It's only what we saw that we are now basing our judgments on. Nobody has ever spoken to her. Nobody has heard her own part of the story. What really happened? Whether her phone was on flight mode. Like another passenger confirmed that, yeah, she said her phone was on flight mode. Perhaps the air hostess wanted her to switch off her phone. But conventionally, all over the world, internationally, the most they tell you is put your phone on flight mode, not necessary to switch it off. But I've flown aircraft in Nigeria that the air hostess told us to switch off our phones, not even on flight mode. They'll tell you, make sure your phones are switched off. That is not, conventional. It's not a conventional practice. Putting off your phone, you can put it on flight mode. Why those who want to put it off can put it off? So something would have triggered this whole thing. But Nigerians are not patient enough to even get to find out all that. The bad character of the girl is not covering, the whole thing. Now, what I'm trying to say in essence is that there are only two tribes in Nigeria, the upper tribe and the lower tribe. The laws in Nigeria are meant for only the lower tribes, not the upper tribe. And like Peter Obi said in his remark, which I believe and absolutely agree with him, most of all these are politicians who pilot themselves as honorables, honorable members, excellencies and all that. They are committing worse crime than this girl has even done. This girl's case might just be a case of anger. From the way she behaves and the video I watched, it's very obvious she has anger problem. She has to work on herself, or that anger will ruin her. That's just the truth. But the truth about it is that nobody is even bothered about what triggered this whole thing, what really happened. That would warrant, the action of the girl. But no matter how we try to paint it, I'm strongly against, I see the way and manner the girl was stripped of her clothes and thrown out of the aircraft is so uncivilized. Is uncivilized. And, this kind of actions, this kind of behavior and character, contribute to parts of, the reasons other countries, civilized countries, are beginning to place some sort of restrictions and bans on Nigeria as a country. Look at Dubai. The other day I wanted to travel to Dubai not too long ago, and I was told that for you to travel to Dubai now, you need proof of fund to the tune of about $10,000 for a period of 6 months. I say, come on, Dubai here. That's just for Nigerians alone. It's because of some of all these character and attitudes that we are demonstrating. The attitude of the girl is so unruly and is nothing to write home about. But that's not enough for her to be treated the way she's been treated. That Ibom has banned her for life from flying Ibom and all that kind of stuff. I think many of our organizations in Nigeria, to be very honest, we have very poor customer care department, poor customer relationship. It's very poor because we don't care about these customers, these people, because we believe that, people will always patronize us. The customer care system is very poor. The manner in which people talk to their customers, organizations, representatives, reps. So I think Ibom needs to look into their the attitude, the character, the way their people, their cabin crew address and deal with their passengers. So it's also a call for concern. They should look into that critically rather than just hastily going to place a ban on the girl. There were a lot of scenes, videos that were not published by the Ibom people. They only published the part that were favorable to them. But if you watch some of these videos, you see that the girl was caged. Why others were coming that she was caged? She was caged. So this whole thing, hula value here and there, misdemeanor and all that kind of stuff is disgracing us at the international, arena, the international space. Dubai has come up with restrictions on visa, taking us through that kind of condition I just mentioned, and that you have to have $10,000 for a period of 6 months and all that for you to be able to get Dubai visa. Common Dubai here. The other day I traveled, en route to Turkey. So we had to spend some time in Turkey. Now, almost everybody in the aircraft that I boarded to Turkey were chauffeured down to the town to go and lodge in 5-star hotel. Only the Nigerians in that aircraft were meant to stay inside the airport. They gave us place to eat if you want to eat, if you are hungry and all that kind of stuff. But we slept for how many hours? We slept on top of chairs, easy chairs inside the airport. They refused us going out. But we actually had hotels outside, 5-star hotels that our friends whom we chatted with while flying and all that, some of them from the US, from Germany, different countries, they went to lodge in their hotel, but they refused us going out of the airport, Istanbul airport. I was just thinking through my life. I said, when has it become a crime to become in Nigeria? Now, this kind of character we will demonstrate. Both our government and Nigerians, look at the attitude of that girl, very shameful attitude. That kind of girl cannot get a visa to US with this kind of display she has displayed. Cannot get a visa to some countries, some same countries. Because some of all this character, they record them. Una no know. Una just they give us bad name all over the world. All over the world. We sleep airport. When our mates go. Now they book the hotel for us. They told us you've got hotels, 5-star hotels to stay, food, everything. Comfort. But sorry, you can't go because you are Nigerians. Because we hold the Nigerian passport. So every day is becoming a shame to become Nigerians. Just because we get green passport. Because of una attitude. Yeah, attitude. Yeah, attitude. And we Nigerians, bloggers, this thing never happen. Everybody don't they blog. Everybody won't get views, won't get this, or they blog, they show they get breast, Bobby. Everywhere, and all that. They use our hand, they spread them. Una they spread bad name, bad image for all of us. So the problem of Nigeria is long, not be just leadership alone. No. Our character, just like the guy has demonstrated, our character has so much. That one man go marry her for us at the end of the day. It's a shame. It's a shame. So the long and short of what I'm talking about is that, the whole action of putting the guy in the prison and all that kind of stuff demonstrates and support the two-tribe theory that we only have the upper tribe and the lower tribe. Poor man picking, now they make the law for. So human rights activists, no matter how bad they get character be, there are people who don't sit down top of the destiny of Nigerians, our collective destiny. We sit down the progress of Nigeria. Nobody do them anything, no. So they should revisit this issue. People should speak out on this issue. We know our character is bad, but let's dig deep into it. What really transpired? What happened? Was her phone truly on flight mode? When she told them her phone was on flight mode, what did they say? What did the air hostess? What was their reaction? What was the reaction of the air hostess? We should look into all these things. So the decision to put her behind bars for me is too hasty. And the manner with which the disgraced star stripping her of her clothes is so uncivilized. So I think I'll rest my case here. Whether you like him, you not like him, now my mind, that be that. Because that girl, if it be your sister too, if not your sister, you not go like him. If not my sister, I not go like him. Though her character bad, but not being to deserve that kind of, oh my God. I beg. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.